Lock the gates! Lock the gates! Are we doing this? We're doing this. Just kidding. It's not Mark Maron. It's me. I decided to do a WTF pod style intro because, like Mark Maron, I think I would like my podcast to have a long monologue at the beginning of every episode that most people just fast forward and get to the interview, but some people choose to listen to the monologue and develop a parasocial relationship with the host. You know, up to you. I decided to start a podcast because on the news a couple months ago, they were saying all this stuff about we need a Joe Rogan of the left. Podcast equipment is like guns. To defeat a bad guy with a podcast, you need a good guy with a podcast. Some people say we should make podcast equipment illegal, but I think we have more podcast equipment than people in the United States, so it's too far gone. Okay, real quick, if you don't know me. My name's Mary Houlihan. I'm a comedian and a writer and an actor and an animator and a bunch of stuff. You could look me up on IMDb. I've played hipster girl like 5 times. But, during COVID, as they say, I kind of took a break from comedy and live performing like a lot of people did. I did a bunch of random crap. I flipped a house. I got my cosmetology license. So not a lot of career momentum at the moment. But I am so upset at the state of the world that I want to start a podcast where I interview people who I think are smart. I think there's so much right-wing media on podcasts and TikTok and Reels, and you hear all these stories about like young men becoming conservative, and I'm like, it's so stupid. I'm tired of people just like complaining about it. I want people to actually like make left-wing alternatives. That being said, I'm very careful to call myself a leftist or really label myself at all because I want anyone to watch this. I think a lot of people are drawn to right-wing stuff because like they view left-wing people as woke scolds, as humorless, as annoying or whatever. That's what they're seeing on their phone algorithm when they're scrolling. They're seeing annoying blue hair, whatever they want to call it. In the same way that when I'm scrolling on my phone, I see crazy right-wing people that I'm like, oh my God, they're so crazy. But I'm tired of people just dunking on each other and being like, the other side's so dumb. My side's always right. I'm so tired of it. And I want to make a space for nuanced conversations where people can really talk about tough subjects and without fear of like, oh, they're going to roast me in the comments. They're going to twist my words around. I want people to stop being afraid of just talking openly. So without using any labels, my politics are basically, I want everyone to have free healthcare. I want to stop funding foreign wars. I don't think it makes any sense for us to be at war. It's so stupid. And I want people to not be assholes. I want people, when they see a queer person, a trans person, an immigrant, a black person, be decent, be normal, be like, oh, okay. In this episode, we talk about the Joe Rogan universe, and we talk about Chappelle and his accusations of transphobia. And I think there's a lot of people who just don't want to talk about these subjects at all, or they'll just say, oh, I hate Joe Rogan, he's so bad. I love Joe Rogan, he's so great. There's like nothing in the middle. And likewise with Chappelle, I feel like there's people who are like, he's transphobic and I hate him, and they've never even seen the specials. Likewise, there's people that are like, I love Chappelle. He tells it how it is about trans people. And those people haven't watched the specials. None of the people have actually watched the specials or the jokes in question. They're just like making up their mind. I want people to just like talk about this, talk it out. Personally, I think he gets picked on a little bit for being pro-Palestine, but conversation for another day. Yes, I think Rogan says stupid shit, but I'm also glad that there's someone with independent media who can talk about Gaza or talk about things that mainstream news doesn't report on enough. I would love to have smart people in the comments. I know that might be asking a lot. I know that when people comment online, they want to do dunks. They want to say, you're so stupid. I would love to have people in the comments just be like, hey, I don't agree with everything you say, but I agree with some of the things you say. I think that would be awesome. So for my first interview, I interviewed this comic, Jurden. And Jurden is really funny. He kills, but what I'm especially taken with is that he is such a shit stirrer, a shit talker online. He just really will make fun of people in the industry. He'll make fun of just stuff that people think is taboo, but isn't really taboo. And I feel like he's really leading the charge on, we should just all be more open, talk about what we like and what we don't like. Because if we're in this industry and we want it to be good and we want it to be fair, then we need to be open and honest and not keep secrets for powerful people. Nowadays, there's so few TV writing jobs, but back when I started comedy, it was like there were some comedians who were really, really into stand-up, and some comedians who like stand-up but really were more just like doing it in order to get an agent and then send their scripts out and interview for TV writing jobs. And I definitely fell into the latter. But in recent years, I've been, falling in love with stand-up again and making that more of my focus and feeling really like compelled and inspired because I'm not loving the way society is right now. I would love to be able to communicate my beliefs to people who might not be exposed to what I'm saying. That being said, most of the places I perform are like college towns and like blue dots in a big red state. So I don't know if I'm really changing anyone's mind, but it's a start. And to be honest, I have been inspired to get back into stand-up because there's this current crop of comedians who are really popular and are shit stirrers. And I would include Jay in that. I would also include like Chris Fleming and Caleb Heron. They talk shit about people in their acts. They talk shit about people who are jerks. They talk shit about things that are wrong in the industry. And this was just so taboo when I was coming up. And I wish that, this energy was around when I was younger. But it's around now, so that's great. Without any further ado, here's my chat with comedian Jurden. Hello. Welcome to the Mary Houlihan Show. Yep, that's right. It's a podcast, but hosted by a girl. A comedy podcast, but not right wing? What the hell? What is this? Come on now. Today we have a magnificent guest, Jurden.
Hello, thank you for having me, Mary.
You're such a bitch online.
I am.
And I love it.
Good. More people should be.
Yes.
I don't know what everyone's afraid of right now.
Sometimes I encourage people to be more bitchy and they're like, no.
I think that being honest as a comedian should be celebrated, especially right now when the entire industry model is kind of like lie and be friends with people. So hopefully they can help you with something, but then you're forever indebted to them. So then you have to continue the lie and you can never call them on their bullshit.
Yes.
That was never the game I played.
Yeah, I do feel like people used to talk a lot more shit.
Well, we used to be able to.
We used to be a country.
It's true. But there is kind of this shift to like niceties and like everyone's friends, and Justin Nick has talked about this, and I think someone else.
The whole like stand-up comedy, I got into it because you get to do it by yourself. Yeah. So these like, well, let's get a group together. I never understood it.
I know, I'm the same way. I have a real hard time with it.
So you said
this is what I said online. Yeah. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, I love this. Tony Hinchcliffe is a closeted coward.
Well, okay, say it louder.
Tony Hinchcliffe is a closeted coward.
I did say that.
Joe Rogan has never been good enough for comedy to be his thing.
I did say that.
Tim Dillon is an evil gay who morphed into Rush Limbaugh after trying to satirize him.
I did say that.
And Theo Von is too dumb to understand this.
I did say that. Those are all very funny things.
Is there anything you left out, or you want to expand on?
About those four? No, I think all of those. Yeah. I think all of those statements are funny first,
sure, yeah,
but also pretty true.
Yeah, I think it's so important again to be a funny bitch right now because their side they describe like liberals as like crybaby. Yeah. And it's like, no, we can make fun of you and be funny about it.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with saying those things online. I hope someone reads them. I know two people on that list probably have heard what I said based on just like our mutuals. And yeah, and if any of those things are too far, they should say something online, address it. And they won't, but everything I said was funny. That's the big thing. It's not just me kind of being like, these people are evil. I don't think calling someone evil alone is your job as a comedian because that's kind of a judgment and that's so subjective. But I think if you can say something funny about them, I think that opening a comedy club when you're not that good at stand-up comedy is funny. I think it's a funny thing to do. What I said about Tim Dillon is very funny. I think he would laugh at that.
I think so. He is really funny. And like, I remember seeing him back in the day and the past couple years, some of the stuff he says, I'm like, what's going on?
Sometimes I think he's saying it kind of coyly, winking at the camera and making fun of this kind of rich person. Sometimes. And then sometimes I go, wait a second. You had dinner with JD Vance. Ugh, why are you doing? You said that reptilian people run the government. He's part of the problem now. He's bad for people if he's part of the system at large.
Sure. Some people say like, oh, I would never go on Rogan. I would never do this. And I kind of feel like that's wrong because they have huge audiences that like we could be talking to.
Yeah, it's
What
hard.
do you think about that?
There was a time probably 2 or 3, maybe 5 years ago when I would have been like, oh, I definitely do Rogan. I love animals. We could talk literally for 2.5 of those hours about bears. And we could talk about primatology. We could talk about bonobos. We could talk about endangered species. We could talk about cryptids. We could talk about comedy. We could talk about exercise science, kinesiology, all these things that are his interest. But now it's gotten to the point where I don't want to. And even if I was offered, there would be a moment where his team would probably be like, well, he said this shit about you. And, you know, if he was big enough, then he would still have me on. I doubt that will happen. There's a world where I could see myself having a spirited debate with him about queer people, about trans people.
I just feel like he has millions of listeners. Kill Tony has like 3 million subscribers or something. And like, I just worry that a lot of those people aren't exposed
to good stand-up.
But also like they don't know trans people. So they're just like, trans is weird.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of wish someone who was funny enough would go on these platforms. The hard part is,
do you want to put a trans person in the shark infested waters, or do you kind of want to bring it to a neutral place?
No, I think it should be someone speaking for them.
Yeah.
Those
two things specifically, the Joe Rogan Experience and Kill Tony, they exist kind of on the internet very differently than they exist in real life. Because in real life, it's just two people in a room kind of having a conversation. What makes it tricky is that one of those two people might be a Holocaust denier.
Yes.
And so we have to pretend like it's a normal conversation and be like, oh, making some good point. No, that's bullshit. Same thing with Kill Tony. With Kill Tony online, it's like, oh, could you imagine if you got famous from a minute of stand-up comedy? But as you and I both know, putting that into use on the road seems irresponsible at best and dangerous at worst. And the added element of like constantly kind of making fun of people, and it's kind of this weird Ripley's Believe It or Not kind of situation where they both uplift and mock people.
It's like Howard Stern with the Whack Pack.
It
back
is
in the
very
day.
much the 2025 version of Howard Stern and the Whack Pack. And I don't know if anyone in comedy wants to be, Tony Hinchcliffe's Beetlejuice. I did stand up comedy because I had funny shit to say and I wanted to see my friends say funny shit. I did not do any of this to become a henchman, a goon, a lackey. That's the weird part about some of this, like specifically Kill Tony. Tony Hinchcliffe, to me, Tony Hinchcliffe is still Joe's assistant. It's Batman and Robin. And so now you're auditioning to be Robin's Robin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, like, Kill Tony, anyone could host that. They could just replace him and like the show would not change at all. If anything, it might be funnier.
I mean, but that's kind of like the fear. Everyone says, oh, don't say that because then you'll never get on it. My comedy career wasn't built through those channels, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm free specifically in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Some people aren't.
What do you think about Chappelle?
Oh, I think Dave Chappelle, Killing Them Softly is one of the most important stand-up comedy specials ever. I think it changed the way millennials do stand-up. I think he is going to go down as being one of the most influential voices in the art form. Kind of only surpassed by Pryor and Murphy for young Black comedians.
Yeah.
I think he has legitimized himself as one of those people that will exist long after he's gone. That being said, I think some of the latest shit is bad.
Sure.
And I can hold space for both of those things.
Yeah.
And I respect both of those things. I respect all of the work he put in, and I respect all of the work he created and the comedic legacy that he's going to leave behind. But I'm also allowed to be like, oh my God, trans people again. Okay.
Yeah.
Does this help anyone? Does this help your friend Daphne, who is trans, who passed away?
Yeah.
Who does this help? You untying this knot when it comes to gender identity and expression as a Black man in his 50s who is cisgender, who does it help? Because when you were talking about the way that the industry takes advantage of young Black talent and chews them up and spits them out and screws over their deals and doesn't want to pay them or calls them crazy, you were helping people. You're being funny, but you were helping people. I don't know if that level of kind of reflection and introspection is going on, but he was helping people. And now with some of these conversations and some of these quote unquote jokes regarding trans people, it kind of started with Caitlyn Jenner. I don't know if this Chappelle is as helpful.
Yeah. I think it seems connected to me, like that people should talk more openly, should talk more crap, should be more bitchy, because like, I don't think he's irredeemable. Like, I feel like people are afraid to have the conversation with him of like, hey, that's messed up, but I still like you. Can we talk about it? It's more people online being like, he's so horrible, he's done.
Yeah, and I think I wish some people would say that in a funny way.
Yeah.
I think a funnier version of some of these things would kind of make its way through and be a bit more helpful. Also, irredeemable. It's not my place to redeem anybody.
Right.
Especially, I'm not trans, so I can't forgive him.
Yeah.
Or like, I can't tell him his trans jokes are okay.
I'm not trans. I'm not speaking for trans people. But I have heard some people say like, it's not even the jokes. It's more about like the fans being crazy
And
on social media. They're
yeah.
more mad about the fans and him not saying something to the fans, I guess.
Not just not saying something to the fans, but the fans aren't him. So the fans will have thoughts and possibly actions after his jokes. So his jokes might not necessarily be causing direct harm, but there is a ripple effect where more and more people get comfortable with being a bit more antagonistic towards trans people, with being transphobic in a way that they might not have been because they weren't even thinking about it. That's the other thing.
Right.
A lot of people don't even think about trans people because they don't know one.
Yeah.
So then if the most famous comic in the world spends 4 different specials talking about them, they are kind of going, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now I kind of have to like be
and they're
shitty.
repeating the joke in a not funny way.
In the same way that they were probably repeating some of his race jokes in a not funny way.
Yeah. And like, I like a lot of the premises in the newer specials. Like he has this stuff about like how he lives in Ohio and there's all these, he makes fun of all these poor white people and says, you know, that they're all on opiates and says like, well, I'll care about them as much as you guys cared about crackheads.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
And it's coming from a kid who grew up in DC and saw a bunch of drug addicted black people and they weren't given the same humanity as some of these white people in rural Ohio that are addicted because of the opioid crisis and they're being treated differently. So that comes from both his lived experience and his current lived experience. And he's kind of contrasting the two in a way that reads very comedic because now he's a rich black man among poor whites when at one point he was a poor black kid among rich white people.
Yeah.
So there is a parody and a juxtaposition that is so smart and shows his skill level. And to me, the reason you resonate with that joke is because you go, that's good. Oh, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah,
it's him making fun of them for voting for Trump when he's like, what? I should be voting for. I'm not. But y'all are doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Those jokes, no one's mad about those jokes. No one's
yeah.
trying to cancel him, quote unquote, for those jokes.
Yeah. I went to art school.
Yeah.
And so
did he.
So when I went to art school, like I was like, I'm gonna make this stuff that like makes social change and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the teachers were like, that's not how the art market works. This is basically just like, it's basically money laundering. Like you're making these pieces for rich people to buy. They don't even hang it up. They put it in a warehouse and then they hope you get famous so that they can sell it years later. And it took all the magic out of it. It also, when you see artists saying that they're doing such a social good, you're sort of like, no, you're not. Like these rich white people are buying your shit.
Yeah.
And so at that time, like I was watching a lot of Colbert Report and Chappelle's Show, and I felt very moved by Chappelle's Show because I was like, this guy's like actually making the stuff that these fine artists are saying they're making because it's stuff that people like me, suburban white people, are like, oh, duh. Now we're kind of understanding racism more because it's being said in a funny way.
Yeah, and there's a specificity to his work earlier that I think is, I think that if any other comic had multiple specials kind of back to back that kind of hammered the same nails, I think you get 2. I think you get to do an introduction of these concepts and maybe then you get to do a deeper dive. I think the third kind of swing at these things does ring, unless it's a completely different take, it does sort of make people go, oh, this again? Oh.
Another thing you said I liked.
Okay.
It's still crazy to me that I have to be one of the most vocal comics about this dog shit.
I think that being a bit pointed and being a bit more specific right now is helpful because the niceties and kind of the, I guess the ass kissing has gotten us to this place.
Yes, that's how I feel about it.
So someone does kind of have to be like, oh, that's bullshit, or oh, that's gross. We used to be able to talk shit in this country. What happened?
That's how I feel. But I feel like shit talking is coming back in a big way.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm thrilled. I feel like it's been a couple years of Kendrick Lamar and the clips. And Cat Williams on Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, and Cat Williams here, and I even like will make fun of Cat Williams because as much shit as Cat Williams talks, Cat Williams made fun of Steve Harvey for wearing a wig, but Cat Williams had like sewn in hair in his Netflix special down to his butt. He didn't grow that hair, so talking shit is equal opportunity. It is leveling the playing field. It is a meritocracy.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes in the past, like talking to comics, I'd be like, oh, this person did something weird. And they'd be like, shh, like, don't say it. You know, like, oh, they might get a TV show.
There are a few people, if they message me and say, hey, Jay, you shouldn't say this. And they're like, I was like, why? They'd be like, oh, well, that person's mom just died. I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll wait.
Sure,
but
that's fine.
But there are not that many people in this industry who can say that I'm not telling the truth. They can say, oh, Jay, you're being kind of loud. Oh, Jay, you're being kind of mean. Oh, Jay, you're going off a little bit. But no one's like, oh, Jay's wrong.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's mean. I feel like mean is like sneaky stuff.
Yeah.
Like being a bitch isn't that mean, I feel.
Well, being like going on record. Like you repeated stuff that I wrote and left up. I didn't go, what? No, I didn't say that.
Exactly.
I went, yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
I went, oh, that's kind of funny. Say it again. Wow. That's really good.
Another thing I want to talk to you about, because you have a big following.
Yeah.
When I used to work at Seriously, I would get insane hate comments. I will kill you, like crazy stuff. And I see people's replies. Obviously, it's even worse when someone's black or gay, or it's like that plus the slurs.
Anyone who wants to do stand-up comedy right now, who sees how terrible it can be and how shitty it is and how hard it is to make money, if you still want to do it, I implore you, do it. I say the same thing. If a woman wants to do stand-up comedy and you know how toxic and misogynist it is, just do it. If a trans person still wants to do stand-up comedy and we know how transphobic it is, do it. Do it because you're braver than me.
I think like a lot of people, they think jokes about like, from a liberal perspective, jokes about trans people or the queer experience, people think it's going to be clapter jokes. Have you ever heard that term?
Yeah, I hate clapter.
Yes. Yeah. And so like, I just think it's important for like anyone who's like actually funny, do stand up, do sketches, because you need to show the other side that like, no, we're right and we're funnier than
Not
them.
only are we morally correct, people were like, oh, you don't make fun of Joe Biden. We made fun of Joe Biden for 4 years. Yeah. We are still making fun of Joe Biden. There was never a world where anyone who was actually funny didn't make fun of him.
Yeah, Biden 2028. No. I hear he's in great health.
But like no one said, oh, we can't make fun of Joe Biden.
Yes, exactly.
There's only one president that people are going, don't make fun of him.
Yeah. Or so many people online, they say, when you're talking about Epstein stuff, they say like, you guys never talk about Clinton.
We
and it's
always
like,
talk about Bill Clinton.
Always talk about Clinton.
What are you talking? Everyone, people have been making fun of Bill Clinton for being a lecherous old man since 1998. It has never stopped.
Yes.
Ever. There's no truth to that. And so then when they're confronted with that, they go, yeah, well, we won, so we get to make fun of you. And you go, well, actually, it's kind of the reverse. Biden won, so everyone made fun of Biden. Just like Trump won again, so everyone gets to make fun of Trump. Those are the rules. That's it. Also, he had a stroke. He had multiple strokes.
Sure.
You think you're not going to make fun of that? Mm-hmm. You called Joe Biden old for 4 years, and he is old. But guess what? He didn't have 2 strokes while he was in office and try to hide it.
His hands are not decaying in front of us.
Right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. His hands are blue. I'm very lucky because I'm not even doing these jokes that are supposed to be like these liberal kind of leftist crybaby tear jokes that a lot of conservative people online think that we talk about. My jokes are fucked up. My jokes are silly. My jokes are funny. My jokes are like poking both fun at society at large and myself. So there's not really a world. I mean, I don't get a lot of hate comments.
Yeah.
If anything, the comments that I have gotten more recently, sometimes people do go, oh, well, Jay only gets to do this stuff because he's hot. And to that I go, thank you.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
I guess it's more about like doing jokes about conservatives or about, jokes that are like poking a hornet's nest.
Well, my jokes about conservatives, I choose not to use the word conservative in those jokes.
Yeah.
I choose to be very specific. Because if I want to make a joke about people who are being transphobic, I go, this is why you shouldn't be transphobic. If I want to make a joke about people who are racist, I go, okay, this is how some fucking racist sound. So then even if people are conservative, they didn't go, oh, he made fun of me. They go, oh, he made fun of that person. If I want to make fun of Lindsey Graham, if I want to make fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm making fun of them. If you consider yourself a centrist or conservative, moderate right, me making fun of you, I don't have time to talk about you because you aren't funny, because specificity is funny.
Right, yeah.
So I don't have time to talk about you.
I love TikTok and Reels.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people bash on like, oh, well, TikTok, that's like Matt Rife. And
Well,
I'm like,
TikTok's way
Matt
more
Rife
than-
is one guy.
Well, TikTok's way
For
more
every
than-
one Matt Rife, there's like hundreds of like early or mid-career comics that like this helps them sell tickets.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
I just feel like it's such a cool thing that now people don't have to kiss ass. They can just be like, I'm really funny on stage and post videos and see if it resonates.
I think it's definitely like mixed, because like the caveat is like, I think some crowd work clips have made audience members sort of have like this weird confused state of like, am I supposed to talk? Am I not supposed to talk? Am I helping? Am I hurting? What should I do? And then you as a comedian, I establish a tone pretty quickly. I go, don't talk. I have a lot of jokes. Your lines are ha, ha. And I just kind of like speed blitz you with jokes. But some people, they think, oh, it's my job to make a funnier clip for this comic. So as an audience member, I'm going to yell out crazy stuff.
Right,
I'm going to try to get the
gotcha.
crowd to think I'm crazy. And so some of that stuff I don't love. I also don't love the fact that all crowd work sounds the same now. Where are you from? Are you two together? What do you do for a living? Where are you from? Are you two together? What do you do for a living? Where are you from? Are you two together? What do you do for a living? And those are things that everyone has had to say if you host a show, to just sort of like gel the audience together.
Mhm.
But posting where are you from? Are you together? What do you do for a living? Every week
Yeah, pretty boring.
on your fucking TikTok. I have no respect for you.
Yeah.
I have no respect for you. I will look you in the eye and go, I hope you got some jokes if we're on the same show. Because I don't want to see that shit.
I hope this pod fucking blows up. I want more people to make podcasts, to be honest.
More?
Honestly,
More?
yeah. I truly think.
Mary, more?
Like, we're going to say that, like, oh, Joe Rogan made Trump president. Then, like, shouldn't like left-leaning comedians be using everything to get their messages out?
but-
There are so many funny people who are sitting at home complaining that they never get cast in anything. And I'm like, you're a funny writer. Just make a fucking video that looks like this, where you're funny, the other person's funny. You could script it even.
I disagree vehemently. And that's coming from a person who might have to start one, but no. So this is where we disagree.
Sure,
if you are on the fence about making one, look at me. Semi-successful comedian Jay Jurden. Don't. Go home. Read a book. Make some pottery. Do anything else. Hug your kids.
Hug your kids.
Yeah, see? Okay, we agree.
But yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of people who like they're working in TV. Like, for instance, I have a show that I did a voice on.
Yeah.
On this show that's been on the shelf forever. It gets moved to every network and then it gets dropped.
Been there.
And like, I have a lot of friends that are in the same boat. They're developing a show and they're so careful what they say because they don't want to offend some executive out there. I think some people are scared of saying like political beliefs because they're like, oh, what if that guy, you know what I mean?
Fuck them. I don't want to be on
Yes.
Yellowstone that bad.
Yes.
Fuck that shit. Taylor Sheridan? You mean white Tyler Perry? I don't give a fuck. Is that what people are scared to say? I don't. That's give a
These
fuck.
executives, they don't care if we say controversial things because they just want to make money.
And they don't care because if you're actually controversial in a way that helps them make money,
It makes them more money.
"Yeah, keep going. Say something else. Yeah.
Yes. So everyone just be loud, be a mess. Come on.
Well, I'm trying. I'm fighting the good fight.
Finally, what do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of in comedy?
Ooh, I want to see more specificity, more really sharp joke writing, and more really well executed performances from people. I think sometimes in a lot of comedians' heads, they go, "Oh, I have to be a good writer or I have to be a good performer." And as a person who is both, you should strive to be both. People should love your jokes on paper, but they should love your jokes even more on stage. I think that's number one. That's what I want to see more of. What I want to see less of, I really want to see less people thinking that the only way to make it in comedy is through the Rogan sphere right now. I want everyone to know there are multiple ways to make it, and you want to diversify your interests. Like when I was coming up, I'd do a mic in Brooklyn, a mic downtown, a mic midtown, a mic downtown, a mic in Brooklyn, a mic midtown. I would make sure I was funny in Brooklyn, funny in Queens, funny in Midtown Manhattan, funny downtown. I would make sure that I was funny. And I'm not saying you have to be everyone's favorite comic, but there was never a time when I went into an audience and was like, I don't know if they're going to like it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got this.
I love it.
Good. Thank you.
Well, Jay, tell us where to see your special and that kind of crap.
Yeah. You can watch my special on Hulu November 7th. You can follow me on all social media at Jurden, JayJurden. And I'm on tour the rest of the year into next year. So I'm coming to a city close to you probably. Buy tickets at jjurden.comey.io. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. There you have it, my chat with Jay Jurden. Be sure to see Jay on the road and check out his special on Hulu. It's out now. And come see me do stand-up in Los Angeles or on the road. I'll get some road dates soon. Okay. Bye. Lock the gates.
Later, sucker!